You are looking live at the Nasdaq, which fell 23 points today, or 0.16%, and closed at 14,258. You can see the volume was a little higher than yesterday, so a little bit of distribution today. Not a big deal. It's kind of trading where it was 2 weeks ago back here. So the problem with today's price action, yeah, it was 194 there, and today closed at 258. So a couple of weeks of just kind of sideways digestion. Let's take a look at this bar here, though. You can see it started to rally in the morning, opened higher, and made a run at that 14,446 from July 19th. It rallied up to 14,423, then reversed, closed near the lows of the session, gave us that inverted hammer candle. But we'll see what happens in the next couple of days. Tomorrow's the last day of the month, and Friday is December 1, the first day of December. But yeah, it made a run at this, and I'm looking for the Nasdaq to get above that old July 19th high, and I thought I was going to do it today. It was rallying and it looked good, but it just couldn't do it. Came close, within like 20 points, so it's okay. Digesting gains, digesting through time, and correcting via time instead of price is healthy, I think, overall. So anyway, we're in an uptrend. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people who are still believe in the macro people, doom and gloom, recession, and the world's coming to an end, and haven't recognized the 3 waves down, correction of 12%, the follow-through day, the rip through the 50, the power trend. They're ignoring all that and being very cautious in this market. Whereas, when we had this move here on the inflation data on the 14th here, I believe it was. Yeah, I mean, that's all go right there. I mean, I don't know why. Just look at the charts, look at your stocks. Don't listen to any of the pundits, because this market is in a clear uptrend and has been. And we're all gassed at MC stock charts. So that's all I can say. Market direction is important. The 2 things to be successful in the market is identifying the market direction, and then identifying leading stocks or stocks that are trending higher. And you just you can't be negative in this market. I mean, overall, negative. I just can't be around negative people and negativity. Can't be a bull all the time, because that only works in certain markets. But right now, I mean, clearly look at the trend. I mean, we're in a power trend. It's moving higher. Yes, I know for 2 weeks it's gone sideways, and we might even get a 3 weeks tight pattern in here. I'm hoping, if it pulls back on Thursday and Friday, we could do that and set up for a nice December. Anyway, that's enough of that. I'm trading stocks and not indexes. I have to point out before I get to the mega cap tech stocks, that the Russell did a little better today and has been doing better. I believe the yields have a lot to do with it. They're sinking like a rock here, which is good for the high valuation growth stock. So that is a good thing. So the rally's spreading out. We're seeing a divergence here from these mega cap tech stocks. Not that they're cratering or anything, but they're just stalling, going sideways, digesting, and some of the money's being spread out. They're spreading the wealth around to some of the smaller and mid cap stocks. This is healthy longer term for our rally here. I believe this is just textbook action. This is beautiful. I mean, if you're owning these stocks, you're just going to have to sit on them for a while, because I believe this rotation into the mid and small caps is going to last a little while. But Apple's going to be fine. You can see it just pulled back to its 10 today. Microsoft, people have been waiting for a pullback here. I think we're going to get it. Maybe not back to that 366.78, but back to the 10, hopefully the 21, we can get a nice shake there. But it was down nearly $4 today, or 1%. So I'm just hoping that these mega cap tech stocks can sell off a couple more days, or just go sideways, and allow some of these other growth stocks to flourish. And I'm going to get to those in a minute. but Microsoft looks fine. And it's just a question of, when the index and your stocks pull back, it's good to find out where the support is. Is it going to be supported at the 10 here, or is it going to be supported at the 21? We don't know if it'll even come down to the 10, but this is what you have to watch for. That's really good information. And Microsoft has been on a heater here. So it stands to reason that people would take some profits and, spread it around elsewhere. Meta, same thing. This one's got the this bull wedge pattern here. I really like these patterns here, and they could play out over a few days or weeks. It doesn't have to go up immediately, but that is a nice pattern. It was down 2% today. Okay, so yeah, so we are seeing this divergence here out of, not really out of the mega cap. It's just spreading out to other areas. This is Google, and this is starting to look like a nice bull wedge handle here in this cup with handle. So definitely, I don't know if we have Google on our ready list or not, but it should be, and it will be if it's not. That looks good. Amazon is another one. Just this is down 0.5% today, just trading sideways. This looks like the index, big run up, and now it's just going sideways here for a couple of weeks. That's good action. Tesla, I thought this was going to follow through on yesterday's gains. It looked like it was moving, and then it just reversed like the index here, and then closed lower, near the lows of the session. Still, I like this setup here. It broke above the downtrend line, and that's why I thought it was going to trade higher. It just broke above this downtrend line yesterday, and it looked really strong today, but it pulled back. But they're not going to go up every day, so just hang in there. Tesla still looks good to me. NVDA is the last of the Mag 7 stocks, and this one had promise today. It looked like it was going to move and just pull back, but another bull wedge pattern here on a pullback to a moving average on lighter volume. So NVIDIA looks good to me, and since I'm in the semiconductors, I seem to go from NVIDIA to AMD every day, and I'm going to hold with that pattern here. AMD looks fine. It was up a little more today, closed near the lows of the session. You could see that gap higher this morning and just pulled back. So it looks good to me. And it's just, in this market, uptrending market, they're not going to go up every day, but you can see the trend is higher. How do I know that? Because they're making higher lows here, higher lows, and then the higher highs. Okay, that's a definition of an uptrend. So AMD looks good. RMBS, this is one that's on our ready list as well, and you can see why. I really should go to the weekly. I don't have time. These videos have been running long. It's up 2-something% this week, just still consolidating within a base, starting to push away from that base though. And a lot of stocks had the same action today, ran up and then pulled back. So that looks good. And Intel, don't tell anyone. This looked like 1999 today, with Intel making new highs, and IBM and some of these old stodgy stocks. But congrats to the longs at Intel. That looks good. Breakout of a base. This big market cap stock, 190 billion market cap stock. You can see it's kind of stair stepping here. Base goes up, base goes up, base. Now it goes up again, probably form a base. I don't think this is going to run away from us anytime soon. All right, now I have to get to the retail stocks because retail has been left for dead, and now it's really perked up. This is part of the divergence from Black Friday and Cyber Monday. The data came in really strong. GDP numbers came in strong, and this was one of the areas that got rewarded. Foot Locker had a real strong earnings report, 16% gain on 433% above average daily volume. You could say that this is like a, I don't know, you call it like a Darvis box breakout, but just, a stage 1 base here. It broke out of this little consolidation area and hit resistance here at the 200, which is normal. But their new CEO seems to have things kind of figured out now on how to manage that business. So Foot Locker is definitely something to look forward to. going forward. Skechers, one that I mentioned this to people and said, I don't want to trade Skechers. Well, Skechers is really inexpensive. The market cap now is up to 9 billion, but you could see this cup pattern, no handle, just keeps ripping higher, and that's fine. You can see on the weekly here, nice symmetrical cup, and it's been rallying for 5 straight weeks, and it's actually in the profit taking zone, but that looks good. Crocs. I'm going through the shoes here since Foot Locker delivered that fantastic, well, it wasn't fantastic, it was better than expected. And here's Crocs. I thought I would have trouble with 100, and it still might. It's below its 200, and that will likely provide some type of resistance here, but still looking good. You can see the big volume coming in here in the last couple of weeks here for Crocs, so that looks good. And then On Holdings is one that's a little richly valued. This is a $10 billion valuation. So it's trading about 7 times sales, but it got through the 200. So that's a monumental move for On Holdings today, up 4% with volume. That looks good. This is, an IPO, so I should show you the monthly. Here's the big bear market, a little due diligence, and now it looks like it might maybe start its advanced phase. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, LULU is another one that we've had on our ready list, but it's just getting extended, pushing away from its base. It's in an uptrend. How do I know? Well, it's because it's making these higher lows as it pulls back to the 10, and it's making higher highs. Definition of an uptrend. Okay. And the last one is AFRM. It's not really a retail stock. It's a finance credit card payment stock, and buy now, pay later, up another 4% today after being up 11% Monday and 11% Tuesday. So that's following through on this cup with handle patterns. You don't believe cup with handles work? Take a look at this cup, pull back to the 10. That is textbook stuff here. And then ramp, baby. That's a nice move. So congrats to the longs and AFRM. Big volume profile here. And you can't chase it now, but you can just say congrats to the longs. If you missed it, catch the next bus. As Mick Jagger would sing, they come and go like streetcars. AEO. He wasn't talking about stocks, by the way. AEO sold off on earnings. You can see this big cup with handle pattern. Then it kind of made a little bit of 6-week consolidation, but last week sold off below its moving average here. And, it was really it kind of shocked me, the move. It was really exaggerated. I want to say it was about 13% or maybe even more. What was this? 15% sell off on pretty decent earnings, and it just rallied right back through the 50, right back through its moving averages. This looks like good action to me, because those who sold, those who wanted out, they got out, right? Whatever, sell the news, profit taking, whatever you want to call it. Everybody's out. Now the buyers come in, support the stock, and it moves higher, and that's the way it works. Okay, I got to get to ALF. ALF's my last one for retail, I promise. ALF is now really starting to shape up nicely here. We had that 112.47 buy point. It's kind of that was an early entry buy point. It's kind of getting away from that area. I'm saying the 120 area is still an area of interest if it just kind of trades, sideways here for a little bit, and allow those moving averages to catch up, and then we can get in if you want to buy the ALF. They have delivered the goods over quarter after quarter after quarter. ALF is a very popular products. All right, I want to get to the software, because this is some of the names that are, being rewarded in this smaller cap, mid cap. This is a 4.5 billion market cap. This is VRNS. This one's on a heater right now in an uptrend. How do I know? Because it has higher lows and higher highs. That's an uptrend, folks. New high today. You can see how it just pulled back to its 10 and went higher, pulled back to its 10 right here, moved higher. So maybe if you want to get in, wait for that pullback to the 10. But that's VRNS Systems, and that thing's on a heater. Workday, this one, I was going to put this on our watch list at the beginning of the week, but I knew it had earnings, and earnings sometimes don't turn out so well. But you could see this RS line ripping right through the industry group line. That's an indication for me to watch the stock at the very least, if not buy it. Like I said, the buy point was 252. You waited for earnings, you got the earnings, and now it's 263. So you're paying $10 more for insurance. It's like you have insurance on your house, you hope it doesn't burn down, right? So yeah, it didn't burn down, it went higher. You missed it, you got to pay $10 more if you want that stock. Big volume profile here today, and that's a move that cannot be ignored, Dan. Very nice earnings move into it. INTU into it. This one looked like it was gonna have a big move higher, and then look how it I wouldn't say gap and crap, but it closed at the low, and that's an inverted hammer, and that's not usually a good sign. But it was still up 2%, on above average volume. So yeah, that's a kind of a splat. Looked like it was going to take off, and then it just it died on us, folks. VERX is another what is it, 4.4 billion market cap. This is a financial. A lot of these are software financial stocks. Once again, it moved higher, then pulled back to the 10, found support. Now it's making higher highs. So that's the definition of an uptrend: higher highs, higher lows. So Vertex, computer software financial, looks good. GWRE, Guidewire software, another financial one that set up in this base, and I did not have this on my ready list. I saw it in my screens, and I just didn't put it on for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it was the lack of real sales and earnings, but I missed this one. I blew it, and that's a beautiful wedge pattern. But oh well, can't kiss all the babies. They have earnings on December 7th. Okay, FICO is another one. This one, if I had a heat list, this would be on my heat list. This thing is on a heater, just making seemingly new highs every day, and up again today. So congrats to the longs at Fair Isaac. There's nothing to do there. Go golf, go hike, go swim, go fish, but don't mess around with that stock. This is Coinbase. Had a big, massive move today, recently, and today pulled back a little bit. So allowing these moving averages to catch up. I think I mentioned this yesterday or the day before. It was 22% or something above its 21, and now it's 25% above its 21. So it's a pretty hot stock right there. 13.2% above the 10. So allow those moving averages to catch up. They don't go straight up forever. There's going to be some profit taking. STNE, this is a credit card payment stock. This one has been on a nice roll here. It's set up in the base, though, and it's just pushing away from the base. That's why I had it on our ready list. It's just starting to emerge from this stage 1 base here. So I kind of like this stock. I believe Warren Buffett owns this one as well. I'm not sure. I might be talking out of school here, but you can see the volume profile here on the move. So somebody's buying that stock, and it's not Aunt Sally. A lot of the I think there's a Brazilian company. A lot of South American stocks are doing well right now. I guess if you wanted to, since I'm going to digress here, you could buy the ETF. You could see that looks pretty good. Nice consolidation. I'm not into ETFs though, so sorry, I digressed. A couple other, and I'll move on from these software and financial. This is Net Cloudflare, and it's been on a ready list. I kind of like this little bit of action here as it pulls back to the 10. Made a nice 5% move today, but still, if you're looking at the weekly, this thing is just still set up in a base and just starting to push away. So if our market continues into December with this healthy uptrend, I like these types of setups, buying out of bases instead of chasing performance. I think you have a tendency to get burned when you try to do that. Palantir, a couple people asked me about Palantir because it had this breakout, right? It gapped up on earnings, pulled back to its 10, and then ripped higher. And it's got this standard buy point at 2024. I think our early buy point was 1844. So if you got it, great. I mean, it didn't do anything wrong. This is like a handle here as it pulled back for 4 days, back to its 21. That's all it did. So the buy point's still valid. It just did a round trip. I'd have to say 50% of the stocks that make a move higher round trip back to their buy points, and 50% do well and 50% fail. So we'll just have to see if this one fails or not. I kind of think that, it's got a lot of volume profile here recently, and I think this one's going to move higher eventually. It's not a fast moving stock or anything like that, but I think it's a valid setup, and I'd rather buy here, than up here, right? That's why we don't chase. That if you chase that move, let me backdate this so I can clear those lines out of here. If you chase this move up here, like, oh wow, it's moving, it's going to go, it's breaking out, and you buy up here, then it has 4 days of shakeout of 4 or 5%, and you get shaken out, which you don't want to do. That's why we don't chase performance. Anyway, I've got to show a couple more. I'm sorry. MDBs on our list. You can see why. Cup with handle pattern. They're up after hours because of, well, I'm going to get to that in a minute. So hold that thought. And ServiceNow is another one. This is not a small market cap stock. This is another large one, but higher highs, higher lows. ServiceNow has just been a beast. It's another one that's on a heater. Okay, so I did the retail, I did the semiconductors, I did the software. I got to get to the home builders. I thought this is going to be a shorter show, but okay, I'm going to do the home builders quickly because these are setting up in bases, forming this little wedge or a shelf pattern, if you will, and they all kind of look the same. DR Horton. That would be a DHI, DR Horton. Yeah, you can see that wedge pattern. And it was up 1% today, not bad. Lennar, I mean, they all look the same here. Toll Brothers, this is more of a luxury high-end home, found support at the 10. And then Builders, I throw it in there with the home builders because it's a supplier. So it's in the business. But anyway, this one's consolidating after this massive run. It's just consolidating here in a base, which is fine. And as long as it's above the 10, finding support there, that looks good to me. Anyway, before I go, I have to mention CrowdStrike. Big move today. Wow, 10% on massive volume. That looks good. That's it's not a gap out of a base, so that concerns me a little bit. I wouldn't be chasing that at all, but a very strong move. I mentioned while the Nasdaq was correcting, this stock was being accumulated, and while everybody thought that since Zscaler and Palo Alto Network sold off after earnings, this one would, but it obviously did not. Up 32% for the month of November. And to me, this is like it's gone through its due diligence phase, and now this is in an advanced phase. And when they get an advanced phase, there's no telling how high they go. And if CrowdStrike continues to deliver quarters like they have been, I believe it's going to take out this. This is one of those IPO stocks that could be a big winner. I'll just put it that way. Zscaler, same thing, same similar profile to CrowdStrike. I believe CrowdStrike's a little stronger stock though, but there's the monthly. And then I'll go to the daily for you. Closed right near 200. I believe it'll probably have trouble with 200. We'll see. And then Palo Alto Networks, they reported sold off once again. A couple days of selling. People get out, right? Goes under the 50. Buyers come in. Has this little base, pulls back one day, then rips higher. So those stocks look great. And that's it for me today, except for one more thing. I did mention after hours that the software stocks were up. Snowflake, man, this is nice consolidation here. Big base, moved up today 2%. Tomorrow's going to rocket, another 6, 7, 8, maybe more percent. So it's got that 193 area as an area of interest, but you can't buy before earnings, but if you buy after, you got a nice I think you got a nice strong stock there, and earnings are out of the way. So they did report a nice quarter. Salesforce reported kind of an inline quarter, but they have cost cutting, and Mark Benioff is schmoozing the analysts, and it's working because this one looks like it's going to gap up 7% tomorrow. So if this is a Dow Jones Industrial Average stock, this is going to move the software names tomorrow. So so another day, perhaps we can look at some of those names that are set up in bases and ride the wave here. That's what we want to do. We want to ride the wave of these trends, ride the trends until it bends at the end. And remember, don't fight the Fed, don't fight the tape. And at MC stock charts, we never give up. Thank you for watching.